Hello, welcome to the Apex Networks training for the RMS system. This is part of our online training program developed by Apex Networks to assist you in getting the very most from your software. This short video will cover the HR application. We recommend you play this video on a separate device from that you are setting your system up on. This will allow you to pause, rewind and keep pace of your progress without having to switch screens. The HR application is protected by a double layer of security on the RMS system. The first is that you need to have permission to access the application, and the second is that you will have to re-enter your password once the application is selected. We recommend that you should never leave your system unlocked while you are away from your workstation, but especially so when using the HR application, as you could put your employees' data and personal information at risk. From the main menu button, click onto the HR application and you will then be prompted to re-enter your password. Once in the HR application, you will see the orange menu bar at the top, which has 6 buttons on it. The first button is Employees. The drop-down menu, when hovered over, will give you several options. The first is Employee List, which will give you the list of all your current employees. This may already be showing, as it is the default setting when starting in HR Manager. After this is Review Holiday Requests. Here you will find any holiday requests made by drivers or technicians on their PDAs or other staff from their desktop system. Below this is the button to request a holiday, either for yourself or another member of staff. Next is the Employee Letter function, where a preset letter can be sent to multiple employees by selecting them from an employee list. Next of Kin Importer is next. This is used to import next of kin and employee details from another system by CSV file using the employee payroll number as a common reference. Finally, in this list is the New Employee button that displays a blank template for you to complete with their details. If a new employee has already had some details added to the system to create a user, driver or technician profile, a basic profile of them will already exist here, so just add the new details rather than setting up a new employee. The next drop-down list is Reporting, the first option being for absence. The RMS system provides a comprehensive list for why an employee may be away from the business rather than just sickness or holiday. It's useful to look at these when you have time, as this is another function that will allow you a far greater understanding of your business. Next is a clocking report, which gives you electronic timesheets via a report rather than having to collate them individually. There is a separate tutorial called Timekeeping and Driver Activities that will cover this in full detail. The holiday report will give a full report of allocated and remaining holiday leave for your staff. Next is a license expiry report, which is a report that shows employee license expiry dates. As RMS is fully customizable, these can include any licenses you want to include, such as driving licenses, vocational licenses, forklift or ADR, also time expiry permits or police checks. The performance report will give a report showing any performance notifications for non-conformance as well as commendations. This section is fully customizable and easy to use. Lastly on this section, there is a user login report, which shows which of your users has logged in, on what date and at what time, as well as from which IP address. The next drop-down is for emails. This is where you can select employees to receive either reports or notifications. The Work Rota drop-down menu offers you 3 options. The first is Edit Work Rota. This allows you to view and adjust an existing rota. Set up rota patterns allows you to set up an infinite number of rota scenarios to fit your business. Lastly, Apply Rota Pattern allows you to apply your workers to a rota pattern, whether they are system users, drivers or technicians. There is a separate tutorial on rotas and holidays to explain how these are done. The next drop-down menu is Setup. Here you can select letter templates, where you can enter and store letter templates for your staff. Next is Performance, to edit and apply performance categories. Then there is Manage Holiday Years, which allows you to set your company's holiday year. Next is Manage Job Titles, which allows you to edit existing job titles and create new titles if required. Then, Employee Capabilities allows you to set up an infinite range of capabilities to apply to your workers. Driver capabilities will show up when they are selected for a job to assist the controller in knowing that they have selected the correct driver for the job. Last in this list is Employee Groups, and this will let you set up groups for employees, such as day shift, nights, or weekends, etc. You will notice at the end of the orange bar that you have the speech or chat icon, which allows you to have a chat function with anyone that is logged onto their PC. Below the orange bar there is a search and filter option. This allows you to select your location if your company uses different sites, and select a job status from the drop-down menu to search all employees, whether active or deleted. Below this you will see a list of employees, their name, status, payroll number, mobile phone number, email address, the system will pick up work email and mobile number, and job title. To open an employee record, simply click on the record line and it will open up onto the first tab, which is Personal Details. The details here are self-explanatory. At the bottom of this page there is a portal clocking pin. This is for clocking on and off your shift, as well as access to the employee portal. This is covered in the module Timekeeping and Driver Activities. The next tab is Employment Details. This covers actual employment details, including contract, start date and night worker agreements, PAYE details, next of kin and doctor details. There is a section for comments and a section for any medical information that could be useful if a worker becomes ill with an existing condition. Holidays will show any that have been taken are allocated along with any remaining days. The next tab is Absences. This will log all employee absences as well as allow you to enter a new one. There is a list of absences preloaded into the system which allows you a full explanation as to why a worker was away from the business. Simply click on the Add New to open a new template. There is also a section to upload a copy of any sickness or return to work certificates from the employee's GP, doctor, or an employee's self-certification. The next tab is Clocking Records. This will log when an employee has clocked in or out on either a desktop computer, PDA, clocking kiosk, or their online employee portal. There are 3 buttons here. New Clock-in allows you to do a manual clock in or out from here. You can also do an in and out entry if an employee didn't or couldn't do it on a certain day. By clicking on Clock In and Clock Out, entries can be edited if an employee was late or failed to clock in or out at the correct time. The last button is for audit purposes and will give a report on which clocking entries have been adjusted or edited, showing the date and time of the edit, who did it, along with the before and after times. The next tab is Attachments. This allows you to add any documents to the employee file. These can include scans or copies of birth certificate, contract of employment, night or lone worker agreement, licenses, or any documents that you wish to save. Like many of the storage areas of the RMS system, this section is expansive and will hold any amount of documents, but we recommend that you regularly do housework and remove any documentation that is no longer required or relevant. Licenses is the next tab and will allow you to log an employee's licenses, such as driving, and the vocational licenses relating to that, such as LGV or towing entitlement. There are fields for description, license number, and an expiry date. This expiry date will populate a report and send reminders to the selected management team to remind them of licenses that are due to expire. You can put any type of license here, including such things as ADR or forklift. The next tab is Performance. This shows any performance notices for this employee. They can be positive with a commendation or negative with a non-conformance note. This section of the HR module is to assist with discipline and show a balanced view of the employee. Finally is the Capabilities tab. Here you can add capabilities for drivers so that you can recognise and log their individual skill set, along with their training level. These will then flag up when a driver is selected for a job by a controller and confirm that they have the correct person for the job.